Hi, you're watching Charterhouse TV, and today a closer look at the much anticipated Red Sea reef mats. So reef mats or roller filters have become a real staple of the marine and reef aquarium hobby the last few years. And there's some brands out there that are clearly doing a very good job at the moment. A lot of you are probably running some of their units. But Red Sea have decided that it's their time to join the party, and they've promised us that the new ReefMat has some features that might just set this apart.
Red Sea have produced two models, the ReefMat 500 and the ReefMat 1200. As the name suggests, the 500 up to 500 litres and the 1200 to 1200 litres. So let's get this box open and check out the features.
So a roller mat unit itself is designed to make your life easier and do away with trays of filter floss or filter socks that you have to clean to regularly. And the first thing that you notice when you take this reef mat out of the box is that Red Sea really have kept that in mind when designing it. Now, historically speaking, and it might not be the case too much nowadays, you had to do quite a lot of assembly with existing or certainly past roller units that are on the market. This, when you lift it out of the box, it pretty much looks like this. It's a single molded plastic body, and Red Sea are stating it's plug and play, and I think that this is probably about as close as you can get to a unit with this many moving parts being plug and play, because you lift it pretty much like this out of the box. And it's a testament to what Red Sea have really become quite good at nowadays, and that is maybe not being the first to market, but really understanding what customers want from a unit and making sure that they focus on those key features and deliver it when they finally release the product.
So Red Sea have really put effort into the way that this reef mat is mounted as well, the versatility of the unit. So they've made sure there's a really sturdy hanging bracket so you can hang the unit from the side of the glass of your sump. And also they've given you these stoppers, rubber stoppers, so you put those on and it's just going to stop any vibration or movement of the unit. But again, they've also given you some legs so that you can mount it at a desired height. So you put these legs on and put it into standalone in your sump to make sure that you can get the most out of the unit.
Yeah, and the versatility continues when it comes to the plumbing as well. So similar to the Red Sea reefer skimmers that are really versatile in how you can set them up in terms of what way certain inlets and outlets are facing. It's exactly the same with the reef mat. So you've got an option to mount the inlet for your water on either side. So if you're really short for space or you've got like a peninsular aquarium or something like that, you can choose which side. There's a stopper on one side and an option to put the piping on. And that's the same with the motor, which we'll touch on a little bit later in the video. That can be mounted either side. When it comes to the plumbing, it's a 32mm connection point, but unlike some other units, it's not rigid piping, it's flexible piping, which again just means it's a little bit more versatile in terms of where you can mount it. It comes with a normal threaded collar to go onto the unit. And then if you are going to be using it on a reefer aquarium, which a lot of these will be, it will come with a connection kit that you can just connect that directly underneath your diaphragm valve. But also it comes with a standard 32mm or 1-inch fitting if you've got existing PVC plumbing and using it with a tank that's not a reefer. Or failing that, you probably can just push that flexi pipe over 32mm pipe and then zip it up with a cable tie or a saltwater safe Jubilee clip.
Another design on the reef mat that differs from some of the other units available is the way that the unit senses the water level. So on the Red Sea reef mat, it has a conductivity sensor, a solid state unit with no moving parts, which is a little bit different to the traditional float valve or even optical sensor, which can sometimes have their faults. But this unit, because of its solid state nature, it should be really robust and not have an issue at all.
Yeah, that's it. So you've got things like that again are a testament to Red Sea really thinking about it. But there's one feature that I think shines through in terms of how much this unit has been thought about. And it's this little black box on the bottom here. And that is actually a media basket. So once that sensor has detected that the roller's got to roll through, the water is obviously constantly falling through the bottom of the unit here. So why not add a media basket where you can add maybe carbon or Seachem Purigen or Clear FX Pro or any organic scavengers, anything you want really can be placed in here. And you know that you've got clean water coming through that fleece roller and falling through the bottom of the unit through that media itself.
And when it comes to installation or installing this into your Red Sea reefer, if you have one, if you're getting one of the new Gen 2 units, it will, as they say, plug and play, go straight in. You've got a removable section that you can take out and this will just fit straight in. If you've got some of the older versions, then you may need to get this modification kit that Red Sea are going to be selling separately and we're going to be stocking, which has all of the tools that you're going to need to be able to get your sump modified to get this to fit into it.
Yeah, and that's the same if you've got a non-Red Sea aquarium that you wanted to fit a ReefMat in. Obviously, you might have to make some modifications, so that tool will work for any baffles. That
it's really handy. Has everything in there that you might need.
Yeah. Now, the unit isn't exactly the smallest, so there is some compatibility charts that we'll go into a little bit later in the video. But the general feeling when you take this out of the box is we'll put a video up on the screen separately to show just how easy it was to put the roll on, which in the past with other units can be a bit fiddly, or generally just assemble this. And you also get the feeling that it's very easy to disassemble should you need to clean it. So first impressions are that, you know, everything's been really thought about. But let's take a look at one of the features that really does set it apart from other roller mats on the market. It's hidden in this black box, and that's the connectivity. So in this modern day and age, it seems that our whole lives are connected to some sort of app, and the marine and reef keeping hobby is really no exception. And Red Sea have really been at the forefront of that with their ReefBeat connectivity. So there's no surprise that these ReefMat units are connected to that app.
It has some really great features as well. It has a performance log that tells you how much roll you're using on a daily average, as well as telling you things like if it jams or if there's a tear in the roll, and even when you need to replace the roll.
So if you're the kind of person that is a complete tech head and needs an app for everything, or if you just want those push notifications so that you've got that peace of mind, then the ReefMat might be the filter roller for you. Now, let's take a dig into some of the stats in terms of dimensions and things like flow rates.
So as we said earlier in the video, the dimensions of the units are quite large, but the dimensions on the smaller 500 unit are 8.3 inches front to back, 10.6 by 16.5, and that has a maximum flow rate of 6,000 litres per hour. The larger 1200 is 10.6 inches by 11.8 by 18.9 inches, and that has a maximum flow rate of 9,000 litres per hour.
Yeah, and you can use those flow rates to decide which unit might be best for you, or you can use the name of the product. We mentioned earlier the 500 is designed really for up to about 500 litre aquariums, and the 1200 likewise for 1200 litre aquariums. But if you are planning to use one of these ReefMats on a Red Sea aquarium, particularly the reefers, then they have produced a really helpful compatibility chart, which we'll make sure we link in the description of this video and on the product description on the website. And say, for example, you're planning to use one of these on a Reefer 425, you just look down that chart, find the model, and Red Sea will recommend the best size for your tank.
And as it goes for the fleeces for these units, they both use a 200 micron fleece. The smaller 500 is 28 meters long, and the larger 1200 is 35 meters long, but you'll get a real nice clarity out of those. They'll filter out all of the small particles, but also give you some really nice time as well.
Yeah,
they'll last a long time.
Happy mid-ground, really. So the most important thing is the pricing. So at the time of making this video, the 500 unit here is £299, and the larger 1200 is £329. And considering the thought process, the R&D and design that's gone into it, and the connectivity, we think that's a pretty fair price. As always, if you've got any further questions, feel free to get in touch via the website, whether that's on phone, via email, live chat, or comment down below, or contact us via any of our social media platforms. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell notification, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next one.
See ya.